So you're thinking of moving to Buda, Texas, but you're not quite sure where to start. Well, in today's video, we're focusing solely on Chesmar Homes in Sunfield, a massive new construction community in Northeast Buda. These homes are priced in the $600,000s, definitely the higher end of what you can find in Sunfield. So we're gonna tour two of the homes, talk about the incentives, and I'm just gonna give you my unbiased opinion of what I think is the good and the bad. We're gonna get after it right now. Hey, Daniel here, your local Austin area real estate expert. If you're thinking of making a move to the greater Austin area, be sure to subscribe to the channel so you can stay up to date on the latest real estate news. You know, I was a teacher before I jumped into real estate. I was a band director, I was a music teacher. But I found that a lot of the skills and morals that I had from teaching have translated over to real estate and are extremely effective in this field too. Honesty, effective communication, hard work ethic, and just helping people achieve their goals is still really important to me. So it doesn't matter if you're looking to move in 9 days or 90 days. You can give me a call, shoot me a text, send me an email, or schedule a Zoom call. Love to help you and your family find the perfect home in the greater Austin area. So today we are in Sunfield, right, Northeast Buda, and we're checking out Chesmar. A couple things about Chesmar, the incentives that they have right now are pretty interesting. So a lot of builders will either offer flex cash, meaning you can use this for whatever, or they'll offer a lower interest rate. Chesmar is offering both. So they're offering $15,000 in flex cash, which you can use to basically pay off your closing costs. So that's less cash you need to bring to the table up front. And they're offering a couple different things with interest rates. You can either get a 4.99% FHA, you can get a 5.25% conventional loan, or they're actually offering, and I haven't seen other builders do this, they're offering a 3.99 7-year adjustable rate mortgage. Definitely want to Google that so you understand exactly what you're signing up for when you're looking at that adjustable rate mortgage. But potentially in this market with higher interest rates being in the 6+%, getting something at 3.99% may not be a bad idea. So now let's look at Sunfield's bigger perspective. Tax rate here is 2.63%, not too bad for new construction, and the HOA is $800 a year. That comes out to about $60, $65 a month, which is pretty good when you see the amount of amenities they have here. Talking about amenities, they have lakes throughout. You can see that throughout the entire map here. They do have catch and release also, which I thought was really neat. You can go fishing at these lakes if you're a resident. The red lines throughout the map you can see are trails. So they have 16 plus miles of paved trails, hike and bike trails. So if you're the type of person who likes to exercise outside, that's really nice to have that in your own community. And now looking at the north side of the map, we can see we have a Kiddie Academy daycare, so a daycare close by. Just south of that is Sunfield Elementary School. That feeds into McCormick Middle School and Johnson High School, Mo and Jean Johnson. It's a brand new high school. Well, it was new when I taught. It was probably 5 years ago or so when it first opened. Really, really nice facility on the west side of I-35. And then you have the Doral Academy Charter School if you do want to go the private route. On the far west side, you can see we have a fire station, a Baylor Scott and White hospital, and then what's not pictured on here is there's a children's hospital on the other side of that street too. So nice having those two hospitals right there. And then looking to the left of this map, we start with the first of 3 amenity centers. So this is the Sunbright Activity Center. It's the first amenity center that they put in with a couple pools there. Going over to the next one, dead center in the middle of the map, is the Lazy River Amenity Center, which looks amazing. Very jealous. I really wish my neighborhood had that. And then the final one that they actually just opened is the Lakeside Amenity Center. It's really high elevation, beautiful view overlooking the lake. Not in the summer when I'm recording now, but in the future, I'm sure it's gonna have a great view. Last thing I'll say here is you look at the bottom, you can see the different home sites available. So 40 foot, 45 foot, 50 foot, 60 foot. And then David Weekley does a 65 by 85. Where they're building is further south. So anything really far south near that lake and then southeast, that's where the new home construction is gonna be. So if you do the to-be-built route, that's where you're gonna be looking for that. Last thing I'll say about the home sites, 60-foot home sites, yes, they are wider than a 40-foot home site, but that doesn't always mean it's bigger. You can find a corner lot, you can find an interesting wedge shape. I mean, if you're just kind of looking at this map for more than a couple seconds, you can see it's not all just a bunch of rectangles, right? So Something to be aware of if you really want a big backyard, but your budget doesn't allow you to get a home on a 60-foot home site, I can definitely help you find something that fits your budget and is a big yard on a 40-foot home site. So the first Chesmar home we're checking out is a Malia floor plan. This is actually the same as their model home, which is why we're not touring the model home today. It is a 2,632 square foot home, 1-story, 4-bed, 3.5 baths, 3-car garage, and this one's one of their deals. It's listed at $600,000. Typically they're listed closer to $620,000. Pan around so you can kind of see where we're at. Very much a lot of open lots here. We have one finished there, kind of at a semi-cul-de-sac here, so not a lot of through traffic where we're gonna be. Looking at the exterior, looks like we have beautiful stone and stucco look. Really beautiful exterior with the white against the gray, against the black. And then we have the keypad entry into the garage. Some homes do that, some don't. I think Chesmar typically does that. So very tall ceilings in this entryway. Really large, really big, and really nice when it's a hot day like I'm recording right now in early August. As soon as I walked in here, it was a nice cool shade. Yeah, let's check this out. It's a large 8-foot door with the keypad. So we have this light LVP flooring throughout, really tall ceilings throughout. And remember, this is a 1-story home. To the right, we have our first guest bedroom. No ceiling fans in any of the guest bedrooms. 8-foot doors throughout though. Decent closet space for a guest bedroom. It's a good amount of space in general for that. And then second guest bedroom down here. Really tall ceilings. It's the thing that stands out to me the most with all the rooms in this house. And then linen closet and guest bathroom, single sink. I like the design choices they went with here. So this hexagonal tile on the shower, and then these really large square tiles. They're gonna keep this through the guest bathrooms throughout. Super wide entryway too as I'm walking through. Turning left here is our third guest bedroom. Again, I mean, even the windows start at a pretty tall height. So, I mean, because they have so much room to go with this high ceiling. And then this has an ensuite, same materials, like I said, same cabinets, countertop, all that, with a larger closet space for this one. This is nice. If you have someone older living with you, want their own space, their own bathroom connected, you have that option. And to the right here, we have our study. This one does have a fan included. This is just an empty lot, so eventually that will just be the side of the house. You're not gonna have that nice view of the sky there. I wish these were French glass doors, but it's just nice to have this closed off space, especially if you have loud kids or loud dogs. This is going to block sound a little bit better than French glass doors. Closet, and then we're into the main living area. So to the right, you can see this steeple ceiling. Looks great. I've seen a lot of homes do like they paint this so it looks like a wooden beam. I think that'd look really good here. But anyway, we have an electric fireplace. I don't know if this is my style. I think it looks cool. It's built in already. If you're super picky about style, like me, you can do the to-be-built route. You don't have to, obviously go with what they have in stock. We do have a stackable glass doors, which is great. So easy access in and out of the very large back patio we're gonna check out in a second. And then the kitchen area, they do add one of these, which I really like. A couple of years ago, that didn't work. There was a lawsuit in California, and I think a kid's wraps, they got injured because of a hanging cable on the island, and so now builders cannot put outlets on islands. So some builders have gotten around it by installing things like this. So you have an outlet either side. I need to add one of those in my house because you don't realize how much you use the outlets on your island until you don't have access to any. This kitchen is very large. So you could fit 5 people comfortably on that island. Built-in oven, built-in microwave, really tall cabinets with the ones on top, the glass so you can showcase. And then they have the hood here, but it's hidden, right? Built-in 5-burner, 36-inch wide, ton of countertop space either side of that. And then obviously this is a massive island with a large single basin sink looking directly at the TV in the living room. Space for a fridge. We can always negotiate a fridge getting included. And then it keeps going. We have more space over here. I love these floating shelves they've included. Looks great. Ton of space with these. And then these cabinets, I keep thinking they're soft close. They just kind of suck. So it's like, oh, it's a soft close. Oh, it just doesn't close. There we go. So it's a soft close, I guess. You have to figure out the amount of force to put on that. And then you get another pantry. So large walk-in pantry there too. Plenty of space. If you cook a lot at home, this is fantastic. You have so much room to store everything that you would need for cooking. Back here, we have a mudroom area. No hooks, interestingly enough. I don't know why they didn't install that. Whatever, it's an easy thing to add. And then this is the half bath, excuse me. I like that they went with a different tile here. Maintaining everything else though, pretty good size for a half bath. Closet. And then this leads to the garage. Now this is a 3-car tandem garage. I like the entryway. So we actually come in the 3rd car spot. So regular 2-car spot here. You have the irrigation system right there. Couple electrical outlets, not too many. They're mainly back here. But I like this layout because you could actually park 2 cars in here because the door is over here and use this space, you know, for all of your storage, everything that you're putting in your garage, and then just leave that open so that 2 cars can comfortably get in there. I mean, as comfortably as a 2-car garage would allow. And then we get to the utility room. Pretty good amount of space here, a really good amount of space with side to side. You can probably put a folding table there. Still have plenty of room, like the natural light coming in. And then I like when the floor plans connect the utility room to the primary closet. The primary closet's pretty small. I walked in here expecting to find more and there wasn't. So this is a pretty tight, it's silly when they had that all the way up there. Pretty tight closet. And then primary bathroom, separated sinks. I do have the soaking tub. Lots of natural light coming in with the frosted glass. Small linen closet, really generous shower, large shower with the bench, floor to ceiling tile. Oh, okay, there was another one. Look at that. I was like, what are we doing, Chesmar? So there's a second closet. I just didn't notice it when I walked through earlier. So, okay, closet space is a pro. In my mind, that was a con, but we have 2 separated closets. That looks pretty good. This leads into the primary bedroom. No carpet. They do have ceiling fan and then the raised ceiling. 3 windows, so letting in quite a bit of natural light there. The windows are really wide too. Yeah, they did a good job with this. And then this goes back to the dining area. So let's check out this back patio. So you can come in either way, right? You have the stackable glass door there or the side door here with shades inside the window. And then really good space. I like that they painted the ceiling there too. Really good amount of space. I like that we still have the brick exterior all the way back here as well. Have a gas outlet there so you can put the grill there and not have to buy a propane tank ever again. Looking to the side, looks like they went with grass along the side. I prefer when they do rocks, just makes it a little bit easier for landscaping, keeping up. And then not the deepest yard, but really wide. Now this is not gonna be the deepest, partly because of the footprint of this house. This is a 1-story. 1-story homes are gonna be a bigger footprint than a 2-story home. So typically, depending on the lot, but typically you're gonna lose some of the yard space if you go with a 1-story. Because the house just takes up more room than a 2-story, so something to be aware of. But yeah, like I said, that was I already forgot the name of this floor plan. You can rewind 10 minutes earlier, of what I said it was. We're gonna check out the second house, so I'll see you over there at house number 2. Last house was the Malia floor plan, I remembered. Second and final home we're checking out now is the Courtney floor plan. I'll see if I remember that one. This is a 5-bed, 4.5 bath, 2,985 square foot home. It's a 2-story, it's a much larger home. This one's only listed $25,000 more though, $625,000. way different lot. You can kind of, I'll pan around so you can see, we are on a corner lot. So the backyard is massive. And then we were just over there. Okay, so you can kind of get a sense of where we're at. Yeah, right now this is just on its lonesome. So let's check this one out. Beautiful exterior. I like the white stone and then the brick accents throughout with this arches motif happening throughout with the windows opening right there. Brick arch right above the 2-car garage. Decent space, not as much space covered as the previous home, but it's just so tall, it's so massive. Yeah, I like this door better, letting in some of the natural light, maintain that privacy. This is a really interesting layout. I was getting a little lost in this floor plan, so I'm glad I'm showing you this one because it's so different than the previous house. Some pros and some cons. I definitely see this one more for a large family. So to the left of the main entrance, we have our first bedroom / office, however you'd want to use this. No carpet. It does have an ensuite. I love what they've done floor to ceiling with the tile there. A little bit of natural light come in, which is always welcome. And then a pretty large closet for a guest bedroom. The linen closet in there. LVP flooring, they just went with a darker material in this house compared to the last house. To the right, we have our half bath, very different style. Yeah, really interesting. I wasn't expecting to see this shelf right here in between the sink and the mirror. And then just a coat closet here. Still have 8-foot doors throughout. Ton of storage space underneath the stairs there. And then this opens up to our main living area. So I guess it's just what Chesmar does in this neighborhood. They have the blue electric fireplace there. I have a mantle above with this one because they did put a tile backing. Looks okay. I don't know if it's my style, but it's nice. I wish it had more of a pop of color, but again, whatever's personal to you. And then the kitchen. We're gonna go to the kitchen second actually, because again, the floor plan's a little odd. So just for the flow of this, we're gonna check out the backyard next. Really good sized back patio space, wraps around a little bit. Same thing as what we have with the gas outlet here, but look at this yard space. I mean, yes, it's a two stories, so the footprint's small, but it's a corner lot. That's why it's so massive. So yeah, if you have dogs or you want a lot of space back here, that looks great. That house looks awesome, which is not something you really want to say when you're in your back patio. But that just caught my eye when I was out here. That looks really cool. A good amount of privacy too. It's not just how far away those homes are, but they're a little bit elevated with that tall fence. So a good amount of privacy out here. And then the brick exterior in the back, just like the previous home. No blinds in this door, and not a big deal. It might be a big deal to you, but to me, not so much. Here's the primary bedroom, a steeple ceiling again. A little bit smaller, it feels like a little bit smaller. I wish they put a third window here. Kind of odd they didn't, but whatever. I mean, that's where you put your bed, so backboard, you can put whatever you want there. And then we have our walk-in primary bathroom. I quite like this bathroom. So toilet off to the right, linen closet. I like the black and gold fixtures throughout. These cabinets feel a little cheap to me, personally, but it is what it is. Soaking tub, large shower, and then pretty good size closet, primary closet. Hey there. All right, let's check out the kitchen. The kitchen is massive, so we have 2 islands. I'll walk around. So first island with the sink, again, facing directly into the living area. Really cool hexagon backsplash here with these kind of gold and gray throughout. Fridge would go here. Right now we're in the middle, so dishwasher there, large single basin sink. We do have the purified water. And then 5-burner range like before, hidden, that looks fantastic. Built-in oven, built-in microwave. Second, and I like that the cabinets are all here next to each other, so you're kind of standing here in the middle, being able to access everything. Both islands come with the electrical outlets, which is great, so you have double that. And we can see corner pantry, not as massive as the previous home, but it's kind of just a different layout, right? So you have so much space in your cabinets, you don't really need that second area, for another pantry. Yeah, ton of cabinet space here. Really smart design too. I've seen homes that they'll put the range here and then the island is going this way and it's kind of blocking you from getting to the fridge. This is really smart how it's just an easy walkway to get to both things. Dishwasher right there, and then oven, microwave pretty close to the range too. So this is a fantastic kitchen, really cool, and I like the lighting underneath the cabinets there too. To the left, we have our utility room, kind of off to the side here, but on the first floor, which is good. And then this surprised me, the staircase is here, so it's kind of hidden. It's usually, you'll see staircases leading in close to the living room. This one is quite a walk away from the primary and the primary bedroom and the main walking area. So this is a little odd to me, but it kind of grew on me as I was walking through. Before we go upstairs, it's called a 2-car garage. I'd say it's a 2.5. So we have about 6 inches from the wall to the garage door there, about a foot on that side. But then you have this extra pushed out space, letting in some natural light, which looks great. Yeah, I would consider this a 2.5. You have some extra space in here, it's not your classic 2. I'm also not seeing the water heater. I'm assuming they have a tankless water heater, which means it's probably installed on the outside of the house. Just something to be aware of if it is on the outside of the house and we have a freeze like we do every now and then in Texas. You're gonna have to know what to do with that because it's not insulated in the garage, what you're gonna have to do with that tankless water heater. All right, going upstairs. Carpeted stairs. This house is a really good option for someone with a large family, not just because it's a 5-bedroom, but the upstairs is so separated from downstairs. So if you have young kids or teenagers who just kind of want to have their own space, this floor plan works really well for that. So you see this opens up to that front door. You can see through there. And then really large opening here, large landing as soon as we come up. To the left here is actually the first bedroom. So decent sized room, decent closet space. And then they have an ensuite, so they get their own bathroom, whoever's in this room. Same materials as before, like the natural light coming in. Walk-in shower with a shelf. Oh, something I didn't mention in the primary bathroom is it had a waterfall too. So you had the option of just the regular shower, or you can turn on the waterfall and just have it come straight down from the ceiling. Okay. And then here's the upstairs bathroom. I always wish they had 2 sinks when they have, 2 or 3 bedrooms upstairs. But I do like to do floor to ceiling with the tile here. Again, natural light coming in. Yeah, this looks great. This is just a small linen closet. And then we have our 2 final bedrooms. Again, the extra little light coming in. It's always a nice choice when they throw that in. As much natural light as possible with these homes. And then the 5th and final bedroom. A similar closet space to what we've been seeing. So there you have it. Those are the Chesmar Homes in Sunfield. This is my 4th builder that I've toured. I quite like these homes. This is definitely on the higher end of what you can get in Sunfield, being listed at 600, 625. I think the highest they have listed for their inventory is around 705. Most homes in Sunfield are closer in the 400,000s. So these being the upper echelon of what you can get in Sunfield, it's quite nice. And I've only toured 2 of their floor plans. So, I don't know. I haven't seen everything they have, but very different styles already just from these 2, with having that large sprawling 1-story with not a huge backyard, but a crazy amount of space in that kitchen with the second butler's pantry there. And then that 3-car tandem garage with the entrance in the tandem side. I really like that. You don't see that very often. I like this one a lot. At first, I wasn't quite sure about it because it's so odd to get to the stairs kind of cornered away there. But I really like the bathroom. I really like the backyard, that amount of space. Now that's nothing to do with the floor plan, but just this specific home in general. I'm surprised this one's only $25,000 more than the first house. So maybe there's some upgrades that I'm not noticing, but it may also just be this fell through and it's back on market, right? It's kind of odd to see a house by itself. Typically, that's not a normal inventory home. Typically, that's someone picked this lot, wanted this house built on it, and then financing fell through, and now it's just they're putting it in their inventory list. So I think this one's actually a pretty good deal if you're looking around that $600,000. If you're looking for close to 3,000 square feet, this one's pretty good. But you know, it doesn't really matter if you're looking 9 days or 90 days to buy in Sunfield. You can give me a call, shoot me a text, send me an email, or schedule a Zoom call. All of that's in the description below. It doesn't matter what price range you're looking for too. So if 600,000 is your goal, you don't have to go with Chesmar, right? There are other builders at the high end of their product is 600,000. And so we can see maybe they have better incentives than what Chesmar has. I do like that Chesmar is doing the pay off your closing costs plus giving you a lower interest rate. Most builders do one or the other. So that is nice of them, but also everything's negotiable. But anyway, okay, I'm just rambling and talking about Chesmar. Reach out to me if I can help you in any way. And until next time, I hope to see you guys around town.